Virgins of Reddit, why do you think you're still a virgin? I've never been in a relationship or interested in casual sex. I've never had any of the guys I've liked like me back, and if it did seem like a guy was interested in me, I wasn't interested in him. I've never experienced a mutual attraction. I'm not asexual. There's just never been anyone I've connected with and trusted enough to want to have sex with them. As a mild agoraphobic, I feels this hard. Lost my closest family member in my early 20s. The man that decided to father me voluntarily when my sperm donor disappeared. He was the strongest man I knew, and I formed a handful of interesting anxiety-based triggers when he left that I didn't even know could just appear. Yeah, fuck anxiety, or W.E. Alright, here is the cold hard truth. You probably aren't super handsome. Neither am I. Reddit always answers with the typical, "Nah, you're probably beautiful." Lies. For an average to even exist, there will usually be as many below the average as above. Being handsome is not a predisposition for love or sex. If fat fucks like me can love and fuck frequently, so can you. All you really need to do in reality is find a social interest, going to a bar with friends, or maybe trying a new group sport. Anything. You got this. Don't let anyone tell you that you have to be Brad Pitt to reach your heart's desire. Yep, lack of self-esteem for me too. Terrified of online dating because I'm afraid people will be disappointed when I show up, but not attractive enough to meet someone IRL, and surely not to flirt or smile at someone in the real world. Also, most people meet their partners over their social circle, but I swear, none of the boyfriends of my friends have male friends I could meet, or maybe they don't want to introduce me, who knows. I get it, I'd given up, too, more than once, lol. I was almost 40 when I finally had sex for the first time, after never really having a girlfriend. Now I'm married and have a great sex life. Things can always happen if you give them a chance. I felt what you describe. Why does no one like me? There must be something wrong with me. I am broken and unlovable. I felt that way for so long. It hurts to remember those decades. I still bear the scars on my emotions. It's still hard to believe that someone loves me just because. A lot of people like to give advice like sex isn't that big of a deal. Just don't worry about it. That statement isn't wrong, but it also isn't very helpful. Sex really isn't that big of a deal, but anxiety about sex is a huge deal. For me, it was almost paralyzing the first time. I think I only got through it because I'd already told my partner about how I felt, so I knew she had an idea what I was going through. I guess that isn't really advice. I just wanted to let you know that you're not the only one who has trouble with this stuff. You're not broken. You may have trouble seeing hope, but I can see it for you. Hope is there. I believe in you. Social anxiety, I guess. I'm 34. I have a really hard time expressing my emotions. Saying I like someone is nerve-wracking. Still did it though, several times throughout the years. Even managed to go on a few first dates. Never managed to get a second one. Most of the times I was ghosted. Most people that know me usually describe me as nice and pleasant and sort of kind. However, I don't really do social media. Can't really have a conversation going through text for several hours with up to 30 minutes between responses, and definitely not every day. Hate bars and nightclubs. Hate the beach. In a country where the coast is about 2 hours away tops and everyone tries to spend their summers rotating in the sun like a pig on a spit. Since I don't watch soap operas and reality shows, nothing against people that watch them. People like what they like. I had nothing to talk about with most of my acquaintances other than sports and sci-fi and fantasy shows and books, and the women I know or knew don't do sci-fi or fantasy. The grand majority of my hobbies are single-person, reading, writing, gaming, or same-sex only, contact team sports. In college I went through a depression, lost almost every friend, and I hated myself so much I couldn't see anyone else liking me. No idea if anyone did. I didn't. When I finished college I was better, but also completely alone, with the exception of family. The company I work for is extremely small and I've always been the only non-married person, also the only single one. obviously. And even though I travel a lot for work and meet tons of people, I don't like mixing professional life with life. So, for me, it's hard to meet women, and when I do and I like them, it's really hard for me to say so, and when I did, I never managed to make them like me enough to even try to see if it could be serious. Additionally, I'm almost invisible, so not surprising I haven't got a single request either. Almost 9 meters tall, in a country with an average height of 173 meters for men, and 110 kilograms. Yes, I'm also fat now. Wasn't always. Didn't change shit. And people just forget I'm there. A couple of years ago I just stopped trying and accepted I'm going to die very old, if family history is anything to go by. Very alone and very forgotten. Did the anxiety of never even having kissed anyone ruin a couple of dates in the past, by making me freeze and mutter? Almost certainly, yes. Did it get worse as I got older? Also yes. TLDR, loner with social anxiety. Fight the bitterness, brother. I have been there and gotten on the other side. I don't have any sage words of advice, but I can tell you that once you make it, you will look back on yourself and see your past circumstances different. It's not that you put yourself there, it's just that you don't know how to get out yet, but you will figure it out. Keep searching for someone to connect with, keep being honest, keep being kind, and you will make it, I promise. Heck yeah, fellow aces. I used to hide my sexuality because I would get comments like that's not natural. Everyone wants sex. I'm more vocal about it now to raise awareness that people shouldn't worry if they don't have sexual urges the way most do. Never force yourself because it feels wrong to not have sexual attraction for someone, and some people may experience that later in life. Sexuality is fluid and can be complicated. Edited to clarify on sexual attraction, not sexual urges, aka some aces can be horny as hell and they do some creative stuff with those urges, story writing, art, etc. Like a lot of sexuality, your mile may vary, as they say. For anyone thinking that it'll never happen or they're too weird, you just gotta swat those thoughts out of your mind. My cousin was always a weird dude growing up. We're the same age. He grew up on a farm with 7 other siblings and was homeschooled his whole life, so he had absolutely no social skills. He couldn't even spend the night at my house because as soon as it was bedtime he'd start bawling his eyes out and we had to call his parents to come get him every time. Just weird, scared, awkward dude. Somehow though, as soon as we became adults, he met some girl at church or something, and now he's married with like 4 kids and loving life with a house and his own business, while I'm 30 and single with no kids and living alone with my dog and cat in a small apartment. Don't think you'll never meet someone. Nobody's social anxiety is that bad unless you've got actual diagnosed agoraphobia or something. Just get out there. In all seriousness, it's 2 problems. The first is my weight and the fact that I've given up on taking better care of myself, like I'm totally ready to bite it if it happens. The second problem is I'm oblivious when girls do flirt with me, like it's to the point where I could probably be made blowjob and be like, yeah, but do you like me? Like there is no light at the end of my tunnel, lol. Bad with women. In a romantic sense, friends with lots of women. I play semi-pro volleyball in 2 co-ed leagues. Go to rock and metal concerts with a few girls from my hometown from when I was emo. Nothing romantic about it. Some of them have boyfriends I'm friends with and come with sometimes. Did musicals and theater all through high school. Still hang with them every now and then too. Just not really a romantic guy. I'm straight. Everyone knows I'm straight. It's not like everyone thinks I'm just closet homo. Friends who are girls say I'm good looking. I'm 6'2" and athletic build. As mentioned previously, I play volleyball 4 days a week and lift the other 2, taking Sundays off. I played drums in high school for years, picked up guitar my senior year and can play some metal and rock songs. Nothing crazy though. I like writing music. I write little electronic and piano songs. Never really more than 2 minutes long and pretty simple, but I like them. Also like writing poetry. but haven't written any in a while. Written about 100 or so. Hard to find motivation to anymore. I've had girlfriends, met them at school. Real nice girls. Pretty too. Don't take me for some incel. Just don't know how to talk to girls anymore, or meet them. I don't really like drinking or going to clubs. I don't know what to say on dating apps or sites. I have no problem talking to women in day-to-day life. I have no idea how to talk to women romantically. Just kind of waiting for any girl to show literally any interest me at all, I guess. I meet lots of people through college and sports. Everyone just sees me as that friendly guy who's fun to hang around with, which is perfectly cool by me. I like making people happy. Just, still here, still a virgin, slowly wondering if I'm even really a man or if I'm just a boy who never grew up. I'll be 42 this year. Even when I was a young teen, I kind of knew that it would pan out this way. It's a mix of a lot of issues: being unattractive, socially awkward, mixed with the fact that I was closeted until my early 20s. By the time I even came to terms with that, it all felt like it passed me by. It sucks, but I try to focus on other areas of my life to the extent that I can. Should I put a serious tag on this as you wanted real answers? Anyway, here's my real answer. At some point in life I just stopped developing my social skills. I gradually started feeling more isolated and unwanted. I never established a healthy self-esteem and fell into depression. Because of all this, I never even tried dating. I turned 25 this year, which I guess is still pretty young, but I don't really know where to start. Primary reason: religious man. Saving myself for marriage. Will learn, practice relevant sexual techniques with wife once I learn which ones she actually likes. Secondary reason: honestly, I don't know how to approach women in a flirtatious, romantic context. I've never felt comfortable talking to people in a one-on-one context. Part of me is terrified that I'll somehow say something stupid, massively offend her, get accused of sexual assault, etc. I was also diagnosed with autism just over a year ago, 28 am, and all I really understand is that something occurs in conversations that I apparently can't perceive. Another concern of mine is, were it not for my religious compunctions, like if Ponfar was real, is I would probably die alone and unloved, in the romantic sense, at least. I want to sleep with someone, but I cannot hold a conversation with the opposite sex at all. It just becomes awkward as fuck and then I just exit the situation. Plus, I'm not a very social person and unattractive as fuck, and I'm not really good at anything in my life. I'm literally the human incarnation of average and forgettable, and I'm depressed and broke. So no, I don't think I'll ever have sex, and one day, I might be okay with that. I just need to kill off that part of me that wants to connect with someone else, or at least be in a position where I don't have to constantly rely on others for help. I'm just rambling lol. Killing off that part is just gonna bring your depression up even more, cause it's not what you really want. I know this is some pretty cookie cutter shit advice, but start by getting the other aspects of your life together. Get a job, make some money. Change your look on life and enjoy the little things. Try breathing exercises if you've got stress, anxiety, 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Don't settle for being okay with it. Work towards it. Cause the people that haven't been blessed to look like Chris Hemsworth have to work a bit more for it. The women, girls you've talked to probably were the wrong type for you anyways. There will be someone who laughs at the same jokes as you, is interested in the same stuff. Those are the ones you should try to find. But it all starts with yourself, man. Used to be extremely shy as a kid and only improved my social skills in high school, but I didn't seek out a relationship. At university, I liked a girl, but she had a boyfriend when I met her. Later I didn't know if she still had one and was kinda afraid to ask, and then she left uni. Dated one girl for about 2 dates, but getting to meet her was fucking hard even though we lived in the same city I had my dorms in. Another said no when I confessed to her. Haven't tried dating apps yet, especially because of the pandemic. I don't really feel an urge or craving to be with someone even though I'd like to. I never really bothered so far. When in school there certainly were girls I liked, but they didn't like me back. I never really put much effort finding someone yet. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to find a partner, but I just didn't feel like putting in the effort so far. I'll probably start soon, because it'd be nice if I could experience love before I'm 30, but if not, it's not a big deal to me. I have thought about casual sex a few times, but I honestly have no clue how to find someone to do it with, so again, I haven't really bothered with it. There are a few reasons. I live in an Islamic country and having sex before marriage is like a taboo or something. My parents will probably be accepting and supportive, but I don't know if her parents will be too. There are a lot of news about parents attacking their kids' GF for having sex before marriage. Some people even attack their own kids. I'm 17. I don't have a job. I'm a bit, more than a bit, fat. I live with my parents. If I'm going to be in a relationship, I want to be independent from my parents. I want to be confident in myself, my body, and my social life. I think him too friendly and shy. I wait long to make a move. I hit it off with girls, but they just become my friends. I don't know how to escalate physically with them. My now best friend was my crush. Through her I met 2 more girls I liked, and I now have 3 more friends. I confessed to my best friend about this problem I have, and she said she was actually very interested in me when we met, but just didn't get the vibe I was interested in her romantically. It's a lot of things. I'm half blind and experienced a lot of physical trauma from treatment for that when I was little, so I grew up uncomfortable with physical intimacy without really knowing why. And because of my eyes, it became real easy to just look away from people, and avoid prolonged eye contact pretty much under any circumstances. As I got older and more of my friends start dating, it turns into anxiety, that in turn started to affect my self-esteem, and so on. I can't say I'm ugly. I had plenty of opportunities, I just wasn't ready, wasn't talking about it, so anyone who liked me just assumed I wasn't interested because I never made a move. But even the times I wanted to, I remember just feeling frozen. I get down about it sometimes, time wasted, connections missed out on, but ultimately I got to feel pretty blessed. I'm 27 now, spend a lot of time alone, so now I really know myself. I take care of myself. I know chances will still come, and it'll be a better version of myself when they do. I remember in community college I was very much looking forward to transferring to the 4-year, finally getting to go live on my own in the dorm and start dating now that I'd be not living with my parents. I didn't expect anything crazy, but I thought I'd at least have 1 or 2 good experiences by the time I graduated. I tried and tried and tried, exhausted every match on Tinder, then tried again with a new account later with new pictures, profile, went through a million profiles on OkCupid. Whatever I did, I got absolutely nothing. Not a single match or response besides spam bots. Completely demoralizing and embittering. It was 5 years ago and I'm still mad every time I think about this experience. My day can be ruined at the drop of a hat remembering it. Girls made fun of me to my face in public school, probably were laughing at me in college, and they're probably still making fun of me now behind my back when they see me in public. If I made a dating profile again, it would probably be passed around among them as a meme or something. I should be enjoying life a lot more now with how much money I make, the nice stuff I have, and the freedom of remote work, but I guess this kind of thing never leaves you once it happens to you. Never tried again after that. Why do I think this happened? It's not like I had no friends in high school, college, and was a horrible person or anything. The only possible reason is my appearance. I wasn't even that overweight at the time, but I guess a single micron over the optimal weight range disqualifies you with what male appearance standards are. I always found it suspect that they say men are more visually driven when I was the one who cared about personality and used that as my main criteria in swiping, yet I was completely disqualified for not being a beautiful Greek god. I want to get losing it on a real date and not an escort or something off my bucket list. list as an accomplishment, so I've been working out recently and lost 80 pounds with another 30-40 to go, maybe, depending on where I want to settle in the recomposition. But other than that, this experience makes me think I might want to just live entirely alone after that, instead of continuing to try to bother with people who only care about my looks and apparently couldn't give less of a shit about who I am as a person.